And I was like, nah, you know what? Like, I've got more to prove to myself. Usually people will choreograph a routine and they'll spend, 20 weeks in prep.
Yeah.
So they'll be prepping for 20 weeks. They'll be doing that routine for 20 weeks. For me, that routine was done in 12 days. Yeah, everything that led up to that win, it was just worth it at that point. And then hearing your name and hearing the first, and was like, okay, like, that I've done this. Like, I've set out what I wanted to achieve. And no, it was never about winning as such, but I know I've made myself proud now. And obviously the first place led into the pro card.
Mate, where can they find you? Even though you've changed the name now, it's all changed.
I was too quick to change the name as well.
Everyone
I was so quick. Someone was like, I basically posted, when I got the news, I posted, oh yeah, like, announcement, like, here you go, I've just turned pro. And like, already my username was changed.
She's world records, lifting double of her weight, if not more. She's lift after lift, comp after comp. Well, that's 2022. She's tenacious. She's adverse, even obstacles and roadblocks. Even the impossible won't stop her. She traded the weights, the lifting leotard, for a bikini now. We welcome Tenacious once more. Enters bodybuilding, 1, 2, enough now, pro card. Let me stop talking, no more. Let me stop talking, no more, and let's find out more. Please help me welcome the sequel. In the end, when it's over, all that matters is what you've done. Welcome, Izzy 2.
Hello.
Hello.
Glad to be back.
Hello, welcome back. Oh my God, Izzy 2. I thought it was like Rocky 2, but
Yes.
it didn't have the same punch. Or Terminator 2.
Different story.
Yeah, I know. Like, we should, Chris, make sure when I'm building this up, we're playing like the Rocky theme or the Terminator theme. So everyone goes, oh yeah, I know that. I know that podcast. Maybe her giggle.
Yeah.
If I do it as a Terminator.
I don't think anyone wants to hear that one.
There you go. Just keep the giggle going. Then it gets scary. Okay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. Do you believe it's been only like a year and a bit that we got together, but doesn't it seem like longer?
Yeah.
Seems like years.
Feels like years, yeah.
I know, it does feel like years.
So much going on in that time.
I know, it was like, I know we've only been around for a year with Chris, but we've spoken to so many people. And like I said, you've gone and done some amazing things. And I think we'll get into that shortly. But actually, I'm going to flip it around a little bit because I'm going to put the last question first now, because Chris loves a good pull. Pardon that. But anyway, that's another story. No, God's sake, edit that out, Chris. That's disgusting. But anyway, let's go back to it. One day ago, this is what you wrote. All right, because I'm going to this, literally the last question.
Yeah.
And Chris, this could be quite stoic, so make sure, we write this on something. The path to success is not linear. This sport is a journey that will throw everything at you. The true measure of your strength will be shown by how you deal with those unexpected detours and challenges, and having the courage to push forward despite it. Learn from everything. Become a better person because of it, and embrace every single second, the good and the bad. Trust that every step is leading to something bigger.
Yeah.
You wrote this a day ago. Yeah, and I told you I'd be goofy because I don't proofread anything. So please, let's continue the way I am on these podcasts. What is that? I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, did you write that yourself or did you find it as quotes?
I mean, it's basically come from the heart. Like, it's just
from your heart.
Yeah.
From your heart.
Come from obviously a lot of you see a lot of quotes that will be similar on Instagram.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm just going to picture them. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see like a lot of quotes similar on Instagram, and I think like
a lot of them I know.
points into one direction. And it basically is an overall thing that you will go through challenges, you will go through struggles, and those who do succeed, they never get it easy. Like, I don't think anyone who has ever succeeded or done well in sport, no matter what it is, has just had like a smooth ride. Like, so I feel like having those challenges, it's basically inevitable that it's going to happen, but how you push through them and how you kind of go around them will kind of determine how you come out at the end of it, basically.
Don't you think it's a bit unfair?
yeah, definitely.
I think I told you yesterday when I spilt my brew coffee.
Yeah.
Honestly, I told off the universe, I told off Mother Nature, I told off God. Who did not tell off? I told everyone to go and I just said, fucking leave me alone. I had enough, this push and this challenge. Yeah. But do you think that it's our fault? And I'll tell you why it's our fault. Do you think that we can do it comfortably if we wanted to? Because majority do. Now, I'm not saying we're better than anyone else. Yeah. Most that look at us think we're idiots. Yeah. If you think about it, most would say, like, why don't you just go get a job, a normal job? Yeah. And you're going to know what you're going to earn every week. I mean, go and just know what your end of week will be, because then you can plan your holidays and pay your bills and everything's so smooth. And you think, that does sound pretty good. Yeah. But there's a death in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people say, and I heard this from a quote from somebody else, like I said, 2 quotes I've heard. I've heard one that we die at 30 and we're buried at 80.
Yeah.
Right? And some also say that they believe they've lived a fulfilling life, but the fulfillment never had adrenaline going. Just booking holidays and going and seeing Fiji isn't really a challenge, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Drinking pina coladas. I'm not saying, I mean, God, I fucking love that.
Yeah. Would be nice.
It would be nice. But there's something about us who need to fucking journal, need to have a fucking vision board, need to have affirmations, need to have dreams and desires, and do it with very little money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why, I don't know. And you're wondering, I mean, you're so young. Oh my God, you're only 21. I'm still waiting for the overnight success. Yeah. I'm still waiting. But the thing is, it's just, like you said, trust that every step is leading to something bigger. I mean, that's all you have is the trust, really, isn't it? Yeah. And then being a better person. I have a lot of stories. I can sit there and I'm talking a lot now and I'm going to listen back to this podcast and say, shut the fuck up, Steve. But let me get this out. I always think to myself, Chris has heard them. A lot of people have heard them. I have a lot of stories. I can tell you where I've been, what I've done.
Yeah.
Nothing over the top. It's not like I've skydived or anything like that, but just funny stories, willing to walk into areas, people, and navigating myself out of those areas, and oblivious and just accepting, and you name it. So I think that's what makes life interesting and fun. Yeah. And for myself, I mean, probably you say young, we're not done yet, and I don't know why, but let's hope we can, let's hope it's not as difficult.
Yeah.
And that we can be at the Maldives enjoying an adventure along the way.
But it's the unknown that's fun as well.
It is the unknown. So, I mean, wise words for a 21-year-old, I got to say. Wise words. Don't you think they're wise words, Chris? They're quite wise. I was actually thinking she got this from, calculus or from ChatGPT. We all get it from. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcasts. But you know what? ChatGPT is a great tool.
Can be, yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like ChatGPT, I don't know about you, I haven't used it. I mean, yes, I have used it to do some poems, and someone thought I could write poems, and I can't write poems. But that's me, to elevate my romance, part of myself. But you definitely need to tell ChatGPT what you want.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely kind of coming from you. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It depends. It depends what you're like using it for. If you're using it for Instagram.
What do you use it for?
Instagram.
Instagram.
What have I used it for? I used it a couple of years back in college.
Well, that's cheating, by the way.
Wait.
No,
Yeah,
go on.
Sorry, guys. Used it in college. I think I've used it to help, like, in terms of business and stuff like that, to like find the right routes and what else I can do to like be better in that sense.
Okay,
but yeah, I think so. Yeah, it depends what you're using it for.
Chris,
Really.
what about you? You use ChatGPT much?
I do, yeah.
What for?
I just use it instead of Google. Instead of Googling something and then doing the research, I'm just asking ChatGPT.
But didn't you get into an argument with ChatGPT?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day,
Yeah.
Chris is the living.
Things wrong.
Chris is the living, walking AI. If you
Can't-
wanted to know
can't
what
just-
AI looks like, that's Chris.
Having fights with ChatGPT.
Chris just fights with ChatGPT. You know, he's
You're
tested.
wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. But he's actually caught ChatGPT out. That's the thing, haven't you? Many times. We won't go
Can't
into
be
that.
trusted.
We will not make it a ChatGPT podcast.
And then he goes, hey, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah.
Really? Wow. Jesus, that's good. I'm going to go to my corner and quiet for a while. So you go, hello, and ChatGPT doesn't talk back. So, I know, ignores you for a week. It sounds like most relationships sometimes. On the couch. Oh, my God. Let's get back to some positivity, Stephen. Let's stick to the day ago. So on the couch about a year ago, I noticed it was the only post you kept up on your socials, so we'll take that one. No, most people don't keep anything we put up there all the time, but they keep it for a little while. Yeah. So on the couch, a podcast with us, there was a post you kept, and it's up on your reels if they want to find it, but you said these words. It's true. Especially in this industry, you can always learn from other people. You should never think you know it all. There's always someone that knows more than you, and to learn off that person to make you a better person is always important.
I was wise.
You always, I mean, for God's sake. I had to go back and really find out how wise you were.
Yeah, reading it back, I'm like.
I know, but that's what you. But you said those words.
Yeah.
So it wasn't words written.
Yeah.
Like you did write some good words, but I quoted you.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, especially in the industry, you can always learn from other people. You should never think you know it all. There's always someone that knows more than you, and to learn off that person and to make you a better person is always important. You still stand by that?
Yeah, 100%. I think that doesn't just go with like bodybuilding or powerlifting. I think that goes in like any sport or any kind of even business and just everything in life. There's always going to be someone who will be better than you. You can't, you just got to be humble. You cannot think that you're better than someone. Even if you are the best bodybuilder or athlete in the world, I still think there would be people to learn off of. Like you look at Chris Bumstead, for example, and his coach, like he is still learning. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, even Ronaldo, soccer player, has a coach. Messi has a coach.
Yeah.
Swimmers have coaches. Everyone has coaches.
yeah.
How do we differentiate, but now with this world that we live in, this social media world, how do we differentiate the better person and the person we can learn from? I'm going ad hoc. I'm not thinking ahead. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know about you, mate. You're young. I keep saying that, but I don't know. How do you know who's sincere and how you can learn from someone, and how do you know they've got the best interest for you? When I've seen, I sound like a very pessimist at the beginning of this podcast, even though we've got some optimistic quotes. But me, I find very rare to find a gem out there, a person, like a precious stone
Yeah.
in all aspects. I mean, we're not. I'm
Yeah.
not. Far from it. But I do know you got to reflect on yourself
Yeah.
and how you present yourself before you think anyone should present to you.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you want to get truth out there, come with truth.
Yeah.
If you want to get information, offer information.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's a bit challenging at the moment with all this social media and all these influencers and all these experts out there? How do you find them? How do you know?
100%. I think I agree with you that there's so many people in this industry now that, like, whether they're good or they're bad, like, it's very oversaturated. It's a very oversaturated industry, so you don't know who you can trust. I remember how I found my current coach now. I actually watched her live at the Arnold's back in 2022 in Birmingham.
What's her name?
Cam.
That's
Cam.
Yeah.
Cam Graham.
Cam Graham. There you go.
Yeah, just think about that one. Sorry, Cam.
Yep.
No, so I watched her she was doing her one of her fitness routines, and we were watching the pro show. It was the first proper pro show that I had watched. We were with a group of my friends, and we just thought we'd watch we were at the Arnold's expedition, so we thought we'd go watch it. And seeing it in live, her routine, I had never watched fitness before. I didn't know what category it was, and watching her, I was like, wow, this is not only two of my biggest passions combined, but just the way that she performed on stage. And then obviously 1.5 years later, I got in contact with her, and from the get-go, we just worked really, really well together. I think you have to have a level of trust between you, both her end and my end, and obviously you just need someone that understands you. Cam was there from the very, very start with any struggles that I had, any issues that went on, and we know in this prep, it wasn't the easiest prep, so we definitely had a lot of issues, but she would be on the phone straight away, even though it's across the world, from Australia to the UK. She would be straight on the phone, and she'd talk to me for hours and just kind of settle everything. From there, she went above and beyond basically as a coach. So I know someone like her, I can trust. She's got great knowledge, great experience, especially in fitness. She's now a figure pro, so she's gone down that route. But yeah, her knowledge within bodybuilding, phenomenal. So
it seems like it's the common denominator, kind of what people talk about great coaches is they're great counsellors in some ways. They kind of get in there. Sometimes it's not even about, people say you don't need a coach to motivate you, and that's probably true. What you need a coach is to get you out of a hole in your mind, in your body, and questioning yourself. There's a lot of psychological work, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's I think I don't know. I was just kind of when you were talking, we're talking about influence. It just I don't know. I've always looked for a mentor. In my life.
Yeah.
And I can't find one. And I've realised and it's funny because people say their dad. My dad wasn't my mentor. He was my dad, and I'm happy that was my dad.
Yeah.
But I've realised, how about I just be the mentor? So I've kind of shifted it to think, I'll just be my own mentor, and if I can mentor anyone else, I will. But I'll work towards what does a mentor look like to me?
Yeah.
And I take a bit of a lot of people. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
Even like you mentioned, C-Bum at the moment. You could learn so much from him in the sport. He's doing an amazing job in relation to the sport, the way he communicates.
Yeah.
His coach, Honey, yeah. Even his enthusiasm and the way he speaks. You can learn so much just by communication, the way they communicate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Communication is the biggest key for me.
Yeah.
And also this is the bit I look at, is the contradictions. And so many people out there, even some of the biggest influencers, you can see the cracks
Yeah.
because they go from one podcast to another and they're changing their opinions over and over again. It's like suits the narrative.
Yeah,
And you just think to yourself, like, just stick to the one thing.
Yeah.
If you're an angry person, be an
Yeah.
angry mentor.
Yeah.
You know, if you are, whatever you are, I always have a saying, I don't care if you like me or don't. I just want to know what you think of me and we can work from there. You don't like me, we go with don't like me. You like me, we go with like me.
Don't
And
be
also,
fake,
and if you are an intense person and that's who you are, I want, you know, maybe I like that in you and that's who I want around me.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a gentle person. You don't have to be, and I just think I think that's what's most important, that people just turn up who they are. But like I said, finding people to learn from. And we can learn from a lot. And I think you have learned from a lot of people. And I think we can learn from you as well.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about... I'm going to go back. Am I going to go back? I'm just thinking for a second. No, I'm not going to go back. I'm going to go the 6th of February 2024 because we're going to go backwards and forwards, right? So we've gone from your 1 day ago to the couch a year ago to the 6th of February 2024 and the 26th of February, a post, if anyone wants to look it up. And on the 6th, you said this, dragging my feet along for the last couple of weeks, but today was a game changer. The first session in a long time where I felt good in the session. Let's hope it stays like this. And then about 2 weeks later, you said, almost back to 100%. And you seem you were still kind of powerlifting a little bit at that point. You weren't really not saying I will assume when the shift was, and you'll tell me about the shift.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was going on then?
So early this year, I went through loads of just like complications, I'd say. I'd probably use that word. Just multiple things kept happening. I lost so much drive with training, and I had no drive with like my nutrition, stuff like that. I kind of just fell off tracks, I'd be honest as possible.
Yeah.
So things were like very up and down. It was like 1 minute it was really, really good. Training was flying. I was still strong. I was loving training, all of that stuff. And then 1 minute it was like back to square one. And it would be like, I'd feel like shit again, basically. So I had some health like complications that were coming up like early that year. I was having like multiple blood tests and stuff like every couple of weeks. Doctors were trying to find out like really what was wrong. And yeah, I was just so lethargic and like fatigued, and my body just was not cooperating with me. I got in a car crash early this year as well. That ended up kind of having a mental and financial kind of impact. So it wasn't ideal. And I think around the end of Feb, so when you said like 26th, that's when I was really like determined on looking, okay, I might prep this year. I might go into actually competing in bodybuilding this year, because I knew eventually I would. It was just going to be a matter of when. And I think around that time I was like, no, I need to sort my shit out. Like I need a goal, I need to be driven, and I need to just fix everything. And like people would probably have said, don't go into bodybuilding now, like wait until everything's cleared up, wait until like you're in a better place. And I kind of was almost the opposite, and I was like, no, because actually I feel like this will help me more than anything. So it's very contradicting. People probably would have said, don't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think people can give you some really good advice, and people can give you some... I know it's not poor advice. I think it's very hard when people care about you because it's non-biased.
Yeah.
Even when they tell you to do something or not.
Yeah.
Like you can tell your parents that you want to compete in tennis right now, and they go, okay, do it, Izzy. But when they should say, Izzy, I think you should have started tennis when you were about 8 years old. But your parents will send you into the tennis courts, and then you come back crying. You go, well, I didn't know you were going to make it. But you say, why did you tell me?
Yeah.
So parents can be, or people can be quite, supportive, but also can hold you back. It's very much, trying to work it out for yourself. So I'm just reading what you sent me. So since we're at the beginning of the year, you said, I had a lot of complications at the start of the year that made me want to be better for myself. And that's why I decided to do a prep year. I wanted direction and goal, and that made me a better person inside and outside the gym. Just quickly reading through. All right, we'll leave that for a second because we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But let's go back. Let's go back to your highlights. I was looking at some of your highlights. And so your highlights were qualifier 1. This is when you were 19. 2022, Chris, February. So now we're going right through February, through 2022 of her comp year. And with your qualifier 1, you were 19 and you were bang on 60 kilos in the morning weigh-in. Yeah. And apparently made your day.
Yep.
What are you weighing now, kid?
I'm about 60 now.
You're 60 now?
I'm bouncing between like 60, 61. It's like up and down every day.
What were you at comp?
54. 54 on stage.
That's not
roughly.
a lot. That's not a lot gone.
No.
But you still do well.
Yeah.
So you were happy that day you were 60 kilos, right?
My heaviest off season.
Yes.
So which was last year around February was about 74.
What?
Yeah.
74?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, no wonder you're a miserable sod.
Yeah. Lethargic.
Yeah. I don't know if have we ever met. Has there ever been a fat happy person? There's got to be.
There
I was
is.
never. Is there, Chris? You look happy. Sorry, Chris. I haven't thrown Chris under the bus for a while.
He's just gonna like.
Yeah, that
stop
one
the
out.
podcast.
Chris has got to stop the podcast. All of a sudden, he'll tell me weeks later, you know, that podcast, I didn't save it. I don't know what happened. But you were 60 kilos and you did, because you were 19. And I noticed you did your prep deeds, which was a dry scoop that looked like it went horribly wrong.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But you got gold in that competition. Yeah?
Yeah.
What competition was that again? And
Qualifier 1.
yes, is that what it was called? Qualifier 1? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the qualifiers.
And what was the love affair at the beginning with powerlifting?
Ooh.
Again, I know we probably brought that up in the first podcast, but let's just go, what was it about powerlifting? Because you were really happy.
Yeah.
You're really happy, quite happy at times when you would weigh in and say, oh my God, I'm below scale weight, I can go eat. And before you know it, you're eating donuts and pizzas and your favourite rock cookies.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So powerlifting, so when I started like just getting into the gym anyway, like obviously I was just doing random weights, random lifts. So it was just whatever. Yeah, I saw on Instagram basically.
Yep.
And I think as soon as I started kind of taking my training seriously and getting into like a rough program, I noticed my strength was going up. And I started training with people that could see that as well. And I remember someone mentioning it before. They were like, oh, like have you ever like thought about powerlifting? And I was like, no, like don't think I would, blah blah blah. And I remember like for a couple months I was like back and forth with the idea. I was looking at loads of different people on Instagram and like competitions and stuff like that. And I think December of it would have been 2021 then. That's when I first like reached out to a powerlifting coach. And I was like, okay, like I want to take this seriously. Like my strength was going up. I wasn't programmed numbers, but I was randomly hitting like 120 kilo deadlifts for my age and weight. And everyone was like, no, like you've got potential. Like if you actually put your head to it. So I did that. Qualifier 1 was in London. And I just loved that competition. I liked the vibe. Although I didn't like the sound. I got really overwhelmed with how loud it was with the metal plates banging everywhere.
Oh, right, yeah.
When everyone was warming up for deadlifts, that was the only thing I remember I absolutely hated.
Okay.
But yeah, it did really well in that comp, and I was like, from there, it was like.
Well, then you went to qualified too.
Yeah, that was in Bristol. A couple months later.
GP Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 2 PBs.
Yeah.
It was in squat and bench.
Yeah.
What happened to deadlift that time? But deadlift came later.
I think that deadlift was a PB, but I think.
Well, I don't know. I looked at your ticking boxes. The 2 ticking boxes were there, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so I think I PB'd on everything. I remember getting a British record.
You got two British records.
Bench and deadlift. 2
British records. That's baby.
Yeah.
And obviously first place.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
oh, let me tell you about your life. Don't you tell me, I'll tell you about your life. And then you went to Worlds.
Yeah.
In Slovakia.
Yeah.
That's when we laughed about the protein bucket.
The massive, yeah.
And we said,
you know,
I can only imagine customs. You're coming in with this big protein bucket. And they're
full of powder.
They're in the back testing it. Like, is it cocaine? What is it? Everybody's wondering. You know, God's sake. And then your mum's arrested, apparently, isn't it? It's like Midnight Express.
Exactly, yeah.
No, it's not. No. So you go to Slovakia. Let me tell you about your life. It was the GPC Worlds. And now we're in October.
Yeah.
So you've gone from February 2022, July 2022 to October 22. In that time, you decided you'd love to try this as a competition.
Yeah.
You thought you'd give it a go at 60 kilos. And you loved coming in below weight and eating.
Yeah.
And tell us about a rock cake. That's your favourite. What's a rock cake like? What is a rock cake?
It's almost like a scone. Scone.
Why is it called a rock cake if it's like a scone?
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know how it's made. My dad and my mum used to make really, really good ones.
Ooh.
I actually haven't had one in
Hold you up for that now.
a year and how
Looked pretty good.
been. But yeah, it was really, really good. So I remember
the size of your face.
Yeah, getting my mum to make one before I left, so I could have it after I weighed in. It's kind of like a similar vibe to as soon as you finish your bodybuilding show and you go have like your post-show treat or whatever. It was that, but for after weighing in. So
her food looks like post-show bodybuilding food, but it was pre-food before powerlifting. There was like pizzas and there was...
Yeah, that was actually like overboard.
She'd weigh in and she'd go, I just weighed in, and she's got a little blowing hair and I think she's got a beanie on, and she's like, and I've come in 2 kilos lighter. Great, refeed time, refuel. And then before you know, they're smashing pizzas and they're fucking eating rock cakes. And I'm thinking, this looks like a post-show bodybuilding, but it's pre-powerlifting.
Pre-powerlifting.
God, how did you go from that to that?
Yeah.
You starved yourself this time, kid. All right, so you went to the Worlds, Slovakia. You weighed in again. Look, see, you came in 2 kilos lighter. Perfect now. You can go do what you love most. Eat, refeed. That's what I wrote. And you visited KFC.
Yeah. Well,
so what else would you do? You just jumped to KFC. And you benched a world record lift and you deadlifted a world record lift. Correct?
Yeah. In Slovakia.
Wow. How did that feel?
Yeah, good. It was scary. I didn't have my coach there.
Well, since people are listening, tell us, what is a world record? We know what a world record lift is, but can you just put it in your words, what you did, what you achieved as a world record, and why at your age, your weight? Can you just put it together so we can understand that? So
the records are determined by your weight and age.
It's good to know for me. Yep.
So it will be done dependent on what category you go into. Obviously at the time I was a teen, so I think I was in T3. T1's like 15, 16, I think it goes up from there. So I was in the last teen category, but yeah, so then it's split by your weight. And in that weight I was under 67.5. So then either you can look at it prior to the comp and you can look, okay, what are the world records for this? What are the British records? Like, can I achieve that? And if you want to go for a world record, you have to say to the guys that are basically writing down your numbers, putting the numbers on the board, you have to say, look, this is a world record. If you get that and successful, they obviously will look over it and they'll be able to tell you if it was a world record or not, and then they'll update the system, put your name on there, and then the other people will have to try and beat that.
Have you still got the world record?
Gosh, I don't actually know. I haven't checked.
Hey, I'm Jamie from Pawtion.
And I'm Steve, Muscle Talks podcast.
And we heard that you guys are very into clean eating for yourselves, so we figured we'd educate you a bit about clean eating for your dogs. That's why Pawtion has decided to partner with Muscle Talks and give you promo code MuscleTalks25 for 25% off your first order at pawtion.com.au. That's pawtion.com.au.
And if you continue ordering through Pawtion, please use Muscle Talks 10, and that gets you, with continued orders, 10% off. We're quite excited to be part of Pawtion. I've got a few dogs running around us just as I talk now. So please support not only good eating for ourselves, but I'm sure you want to promote good eating for your loved one, your pet, your dog. So go to pawtion.com.au and use, for your first order, Muscle Talks 25 to get 25% off your first order, and then continued orders, Muscle Talks 10.
I haven't
You
checked
need
since
to go
like
check,
2022.
If I'm not talking to a world record holder, I want this podcast finished. All right, Chris? Delete.
Crossover.
All right? And if we are going to lie, can we at least sign papers that know for defamation laws, things like that? Or we
Hopefully.
need. I think you.
Hopefully.
Well, let's just.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT can lie, that Chris can.
Yeah.
It makes up whatever it wants.
I'll make sure it lies.
It's whatever Elon Musk told it to write, isn't it? It's basically, whatever Elon Musk wants. So then we go to November 2022, the British finals.
Yeah.
More world records broken, because this time it was the squat.
Yeah.
So you've taken it all out.
Well, no, I wasn't a squat. Squat was always my worst. I never held a record in squat.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a big squat.
It was a big squat. It
Oh.
wasn't. It wasn't like the best though.
No, well, let's just
Let's go with it. It was a squat.
and let's go with the world record. Bullshit. Well, we look. We got to leave room for people to defame us with our own lies. So let them take them further.
They can have the squat.
They can have the squat. Yeah. No, she did not do it. How come they lied on that podcast? All right. She didn't get a world record. We're sorry. So 2022 was quite the year.
Yeah.
It seemed to have flowed nicely. The ducks aligned. You competed right through it. I wanted to ask, had you competed like this prior? And does an element of naivety help you do that?
Yeah, I guess. So obviously since young age I was doing gymnastics, cheerleading.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Cheerleading competitions, they also kind of run through like seasons.
Yep.
So they'll run through between like January and July roughly in the UK. And it was kind of like a similar vibe with the powerlifting. Obviously, it doesn't really have a season, powerlifting, but you have obviously the time frame that you compete in.
Oh yeah.
And it's that similar vibe to cheerleading where you compete over those couple months. So almost like back-to-back competitions or competitions with a couple weeks in between. And at the time of that year in 2022, I was also still cheerleading. So I was doing cheerleading competitions in between those powerlifting comps. I didn't stop cheerleading until I was end of 19. So yeah, just when I turned 20. So I think from then it didn't really not affect me in that way, but like I didn't see too much of a difference because I was so used to those cheerleading comps. And obviously you travel around all over like the UK for them. So there was that. But yeah, I think definitely some naive like aspect to it. But I also think it's like it kept giving me goals. I was done with one qualifier, onto the next one, and then onto the next one. And I didn't think the world championships would have came. Like my goal wasn't that at first. It was always going to be the British finals, but the world championships I just got invited to after qualified 2 in Bristol, and it was kind of a surprise. And I was like, oh, like, well, we may as well take the opportunity. Like, it's not every day where you can just go to Slovakia and compete. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely think some naivety.
Do you think also Europe, England, all that area allows you to take on more competitions easier, where Australia is so far from everything and everyone and we're limited by what we're doing in-house? Do you think that has an effect where, 1 minute you can, I don't know, I'm just thinking, do you think there's more available being so close, everything's not so many hours away, you can do it all in Like you literally can fly a couple of hours. You're there, and
Yeah.
and then you can stay there for a little while. A couple of hours, you're back home. Could that be?
But then it's similar here. You could go to Gold Coast or Melbourne or Perth. Like it's kind of almost similar in that sense, where you could just go up for like a day or so, and it's still almost like a holiday. But it's anywhere that's out of your normal town, I think is different. It's like almost treated like a holiday or somewhere different. Yeah, somewhere just new.
What is it about competing with you? What is it about? Well, yeah, because I don't know. Maybe I need to. I don't know about.
Well, compete.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not really
Sustainable.
No, not in my It's not in my. Not that it's not in my DNA. I don't know what it is about. I'm just thinking, does competition intimidate me?
Yeah.
But what is it about competition? Like, you seem to like it. It seems to be a motivator for you. It seems to be like, I don't know. I'm trying to find the words, but I could say there's an element of fear for me, maybe, to compete, to get on stage and be, I don't know if I'm happy to be compared.
Yeah.
I think as well, I'm very good under the radar.
Yeah.
I think I'm very, very much, very silent, even though I seem an extrovert. I'm very much an introvert.
Yeah.
You seem like an introvert, but you're probably an extrovert. I don't know, because you...
know.
Yeah, no, but you seem very... But what I'm getting at is, what is it about you needing competition? What does it feed? Because maybe some people can relate to that or want to relate to that. What is it about that feed of... You're going to have to discipline yourself. You're going to have to diet. You're going to have to train. You've got a date in place. You've got to put the money down for that. You've got to... Like, there's a lot of stuff there that's... It's hard enough that we can get to the gym and stick to a diet or a training plan.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I say again, like, it goes back to just having a goal and having the drive, and it goes into every aspect for me. So I like having the drive in obviously the sport that I'm like going for that goal. So say I've got a competition at the end of the year, but around that, it then uses that drive and it helps me be better in work or my career, and my just general routine. And then obviously nutrition will feed into that, so then I'm eating better, or I'm very much more structured. And then it comes with finances. You've obviously got to save. If I was to say I went back to the UK this year, I was saving like for a good couple months for it, and it was just like a good structure for me in place. So it made me better in every aspect, and then mentally as well, it kept me on track, and I couldn't really, not that I couldn't really go off track, but if I did, then I would be letting myself down, and I didn't want that to happen. I do feel like kind of having anxiety in the past, just having anxiety as a person, I also feel like it's an element of going outside my comfort zone, and doing things that either I wouldn't really do or that I wouldn't be opposed to do, and just kind of use that almost as like a fuel to just be better. And I feel like it just pushes me to be better.
It's funny, I could feel your, not feel your anxiety, I can feel the anxiety you're talking about. Well, tell us about your anxiety. What is your anxiety?
It's like general anxiety. I've had anxiety since I was a kid. Like just little things as well. It's not like a one topic. It's not like I'm scared of this or like I'm scared of that. It's just
Well, you
generic.
explained the noise at the powerlifting would have been an anxiety.
Yeah.
So you had to push through that.
Yeah, very overwhelming. Just those kind of things. Yeah. I find so I get overwhelmed pretty easily.
So is it a fight for your life?
Nah.
No, I'm talking about fight for your life to do these competitions. It's like you to say, "Fuck you, anxiety." I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. It's not going away, but I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a fight for your rights.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Pretty much. I also think, well, I'm trying to actually think the words. What was I gonna say?
Well, we're talking about. I wanted to know about your anxiety.
Yeah.
But your fight for your rights, and Because, you know, like I said, it takes a lot of courage, especially if someone's got anxiety.
Yeah.
It's hard enough when someone doesn't have anxiety.
Yeah.
We get anxiety just to go and compete, or
Yeah.
get anxiety just to face things.
Yeah.
But you've already got anxiety before you even go do all that. So how do you do it? That's what I'm saying. Is it an aggression, like an angry, this is your savage moment, this is you going against you? Like not...
Almost, yeah.
Does that make sense? Like what
Yeah.
I'm saying is it's not... You're going to take this bastard with you.
Yeah.
The anxiety, we're going.
Yeah.
We're going in.
We're doing it, yeah.
Strap, pack, we're going.
Yeah, otherwise I feel like it will just sit with you.
The otherwise,
And it will-
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, it will just sit with you, and it will just kind of like, it will not take over your life. It's a
But you don't
bit
want it
extreme,
to.
But
you
yeah.
got it. You like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I don't want it to.
Yeah.
Fuck this thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just almost like, okay, I'm not going to let that win. Like, I'm going to be better than that, if that makes sense. So whatever I can do to be better, whether it's competing, whether it's, anything, even if it's not competing, even if it's having a goal in work or having a goal in like my career and business, or with family, friends, like anything like that. Like, there are so many aspects that I can take away, like, from that, just to divert the attention away from the anxiety. And yeah, it's definitely helped me as a person, like competing, whether it was cheerleading, powerlifting, bodybuilding, all of that competitiveness has almost just shaped me to be a different person and work around my anxiety. So I don't feel it as much. It's still there, but I don't dwell in it, if that makes sense.
No, well, I mean, you're doing it, so you can't be dwelling in it.
Yeah.
So let's have a little read quickly of what you sent me here. So a lot of there were complications, better person, I want a direction. Obviously, that's what you do inside and out the gym.
Yeah.
Some of the complications, multiple occasions. You had a car crash,
Yeah.
all right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Was it a bad one?
No, it wasn't like anything major.
Like, don't tell us it was like a trolley hitting your car. And I mean, come on, we
Life's
don't
over.
want cameras. We don't want the cameras later. People sending us stuff saying, you know, fucking you guys dramatise that too much.
No, it was
Because Izzy, if you become famous, they're going to come for us. You know that.
Yeah. Can't lie here. No, it was a really stormy day.
Oh, yes.
And I was going over a roundabout, and my car just skidded off to the left side, ended up like just crashing in like headfirst into a Tesla. The whole like left side was just smashed off my car. And it was like the first like kind of crash I've ever been.
Oh, yeah, it's
so
scary.
I've never like experienced that. So I was like,
It's
oh my
like
God, like what do I
fucking,
do? Yeah.
It's scary. Poor
Yeah.
little thing in your racing. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, no.
That was so good. Yeah, it was more just and then it was like the financial hit of it. It was like, oh, like, what am I gonna do? Like,
What do you mean by financial hit? I'm just inquiring about
obviously
that. Were you
paying
insured?
like the insurance. Yeah, I was insured.
But the excess?
Yeah.
Fucking
it was,
insurance.
yeah.
Anyway.
So
What about, all right. I mean, there was a bad accident. I'm really sorry. I know. Have you had an accident, car accident, Chris? You haven't yet?
yet.
Oh, sorry. You might never. And guess what? You miss out. You don't get to enjoy the life of car crashes.
Damn.
Car crashes is like, it's the moment you feel like you're a fucking rag doll inside this piece of metal, and you're hearing smash, boom, bam, bang, boom, and it seems like it'll never stop. So boom, bang, boom, and then you go, is this ever going to stop? And you just go like that. So it's a rag doll real kind of moment. It's the worst sounds you can ever hear. It's fucking shit sound.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've had many. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I've had a few. But anyway, I once hit an old lady.
Oh, that's tragic. There's no comment to that.
Let me just fucking fix this up quickly. So let me add it. Yeah, no, let me add it because it could boost our ratings. But having said that, so I'm driving. I mean, I like to talk about the car I'm driving at the time. So I'm driving my E46 M3, and this thing's a beast, right? So I'm driving. I'm just down the road here,
Yeah.
and I'm driving it,
Okay.
and I'm going up a hill. Just down, you know, where the park is, and down the boulevard here, promenade. I'm going up the hill, just driving. And the funny thing is, I always feel like I always believe I'm responsible. It doesn't really matter. It wasn't my fault in the end. The police came, they did a report on it.
Yeah.
Everything was all right. I mean,
Thank gosh.
yeah, it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
But, fuck, I was driving up the hill, and there's this house that's got this massive fucking big flag flying. I think they had even an English flag flying at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it kind of caught my attention. It's always been there, but, you know, it gets your attention going up the hill.
Yeah.
And before you know it, there was this old lady crossing the road in front of me. Just out of the... She didn't even look left or right. She just crossed. And I'm going up the hill trying to ascend or descend. Ascend, yeah. I'm ascending. And before you know it, there's this old lady, and I hit the brakes, and my car, just as I hit the brakes, just a little swerve, I hit her. She ends up on my bonnet. It's not a funny moment, guys. And her head hits my windscreen. You don't know what it's like to hear it. And then she rolls over and ends up on the floor of the cement on the road. It's not that funny. I hit the handbrake, I get out of the car, and I run around, and she's lying on the side, and there's blood coming out of her fucking head. And I put my hand underneath her head, right? It doesn't get bad. Don't worry, guys. We're not going to go to death. But I'm holding her head, and I'm screaming to God, no. And then Lassie runs around, and then Skip comes in. No, it sounds so. I'm insensitive. I'm not trying to be insensitive here because it fucking spooked the fuck out of me. So I'm holding her head, and then this guy runs up, and he could see I'm in shock.
Yeah.
He goes, "It's not your fault, mate. I was behind you. You did nothing wrong." Because I was trying, I was really scared. But I just said, "Call a fucking ambulance." That's all I said. Get it. I was actually instructing everybody. You block the road. You get over here. Get there. And I could hear the ambulance come, and the cops came. Thankfully, she ended up okay. I did have to get the bonnet replaced. There was a few things fixed, and anyway. But like I said, no. But it was scary when you hit a person, and it's the worst sound. If you think inside a car sounds bad, my God, I don't know. I don't think this is a good thing for the podcast. I really think insensitive people on this podcast, Chris, Izzy, and Steve, are the most insensitive people I've met in my life. So anyway, you were iron deficient.
Oh yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Still am.
You still are?
Yeah.
Why are you deficient?
I don't know, just iron levels are just very low.
Are you vegetarian?
No. But I supplement them now.
You vegan?
No, definitely not.
You woke? We're just trying to see why you are deficient.
Yeah. No, I'm
You're a Democrat?
Supplemented, yeah.
Republic. Why are you eye deficient? All right, you don't know why.
No, yeah. So I'm supplementing it now, and then I just get injections every now and then, just basically.
Is it helping?
Pardon?
Is it helping?
Yeah, definitely. It was really bad around the start of the year, and that was just kind of like, again, linked towards those health complications. It was just not ideal, but we worked around it, so it's all good.
Talking about working around, what about relationship issues?
Yeah. What about it?
Well, you wrote it. Classic, really, with a little funny emoji, guys. So were you going through a bit of troubled times in the relationship? Was it at the time?
Yeah, I feel like it's inevitable, especially in prep. I feel like if
a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like if you are in a relationship, it even needs to be really, really stable and really healthy. And there was just so many things that kept coming up from both ends. Both had our issues. Both had problems, and it just kind of ate into that prep. And then obviously things just differed, and we were almost just like different people, going different ways, different views, different hobbies, things like that. So in the end, it didn't work. It was but multiple issues.
I think Jimmy Sadek said, I don't know, he said the reason he won all his comps was that he never was in a relationship, or he said something about relationships, didn't he? He did. He said something about if you want to win comps, don't have relationships.
See, I don't actually believe in that. I do believe
that
you could.
You're a fucking prime example. Are you serious? Leave that for another podcast, your contradiction. Don't contradict yourself so quickly.
No, personally, within experience.
All of a sudden at 20 you're experienced. Jesus Christ, that's all. Chris, just... Go for your life.
No, so yeah,
Enlighten
no, not my life, but I do feel like seeing it from like an outside perspective, or like actually understanding it a little bit more. Like I do feel like you can prep in a relationship. I feel
Listen,
like
we're
it's
not all going to
definitely
be
doable.
C-bum, all right? We're not all C-bum. We can't literally fall in love during prep, get married during prep, and have children during prep.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Drive a Chevy during prep, train barefoot during prep, and then be a shareholder and owner of Shark. What's it called? Gymshark. Like, fuck, Chris, can you calm down your own product lines and this and that?
Yeah, really setting a
All
good
right?
example.
And can you, enough with the lisp. Get rid of it. We got it. No.
No, yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely doable, and like I do feel like I'd love.
What would you love?
Well, no, like having someone who supports you, I think, is the main thing. Whether it's in a relationship, friendship, or whatever, having those people to support you, really make a difference.
Have you got someone?
I've got some people.
People. Come on, is there
Not
someone?
my team. No, I haven't got someone. But yeah, I'd say people.
Well, you're lucky
It's
you got a
definitely-
team. It is hard to
got
get
a nice team.
It is.
Yeah.
It is hard to get a team.
Yeah, yeah.
It is really hard to get a team.
Yeah.
It's really hard because people. I think you got a quote here somewhere. I will find it.
Oh.
Where is it? I'll tell you where it is. No, there is a quote coming up, and it will make sense. I'm going to leave it for that moment. Financial issues. You lost hours at work and you couldn't find a job.
Classic again.
Another classic. Yeah, it was really compounding, wasn't it, this year? But okay, so let's then go with, just want to make sure I haven't missed anything here. No, that's good. Yeah, so then I see, because it said here, you were inspired by the fitness category and the IFBB Pro League in 2022. I noticed that you first watched it with the Arnolds.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so kind of what we said like prior about Cam. Yeah, we were just watching one of the pro shows. As I think it was the last day of the Arnold expedition. And yeah, it was me and all my friends. We were just sat around watching, and yeah, watched fitness, and it was one of the categories that was just on. I think we were all there for just watching like all of the categories that were on that day. But that was the first one where we sat down and we were like, what's this? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
And
we don't have it here in Australia. That's the thing.
it's so rare, so rare.
It is rare. I mean, there's a few of you I know that do it. Like there's Laurie.
Yeah,
Train with Laurie.
yeah, yeah,
There's you.
yeah. I think there's another pro.
There's another person. Yeah.
She's out in Perth, I think.
Oh right, she's in Perth, correct. And then there's we've had
Taylor, you had Taylor on.
Taylor on.
Yeah.
And we had another girl. God, I can't believe it. The one from Canada, Chris.
Abby?
Abby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
very few.
Yeah, it's rare. It's still rare in the UK. Like it's still
Taylor's
like
going
it's
to the Olympics this week.
yeah, Olympia. Yeah.
It'll be
It's
exciting.
crazy. Olympia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Trying to get her to help us out with 2.3 million people. It hasn't helped us out much.
Bless
if
her.
you're listening, just one collab, we'll do it.
Bless her.
I think she did do a collab and we got 300,000. No, we didn't. If we did, we would have no, I was going to say we'd have an influencer compounded and talk bad about us, but they didn't. Yeah.
Luckily.
People still don't like Jeff, that's why.
Yeah.
Sorry. Jeff as well. He's going well. He's in Greece, by the way. I don't know if you know Jeff from Gold's Gym.
Yeah. I just don't know him.
No, Jeff's all right. He's wonderful
Yeah.
person. So don't make sure you don't zoom up on
Yeah,
Izzy's
sorry,
squinting faces, and stick with me, Chris. No, I know I'm taking maybe the piss out of some people, but these people are all great. Every single person we've had on the podcast, and here I'm kissing us now. But we've had it's true. I don't care who you are. All I care about is that you are you, and I respect that. And so we've had everybody that's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's not go on there. Let's talk about you. You were surrounded by bodybuilders. You trained every day. It was like family to you. and you know we all set out to compete, etc. And I noticed that in the 8th of April 2024, you were at the IFBB Pro League show in Oz,
the
Season A,
one, yeah.
with some of your mates from World Gym that possibly competed.
Yeah.
Was that the moment, the shift that you accepted what you were about to embark on? Even though you saw what you saw in the Arnolds in 2022, because, hear me out, because that was April, because on May the 1st,
Yeah.
you went week 1 and then week 9
Into
prep so far.
Yeah.
Was that the moment you decided to put the pedal down in April, or were you doing it prior?
No, so I was actually in prep at that comp as well. So I had already started.
You weren't long in.
No, definitely wasn't long in. It was a good
2 weeks, 3 weeks, possibly.
3 weeks.
Yeah, because you're week 1 to week 9, and that was May, and then you were April, the beginning of April.
Yeah. It was roughly the first couple of weeks
Yeah.
of prep, and it was just it did light a fire. I love watching bodybuilding shows. It does light that spark. You come away from it and you're like, oh, you want to be on stage already. But I'd been watching bodybuilding shows for the last couple of years. Obviously, as I said, my friends had competed since 2021, 2022, so like that. So they've been competing and I've been watching their shows. So I've been watching bodybuilding shows for a while. I know kind of
You've been
how it
mostly around
works.
bodybuilders anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying there's not powerlifters, but
Yeah.
predominantly the gymnasiums, we've got a lot of
bodybuilders.
competitors in
Yeah.
bodybuilding. There's powerlifting going on, and
Yeah.
some do go and compete on the side.
Yeah,
Powerlifting,
do
many
both.
do both,
Yeah.
but predominantly the bodybuilders do powerlifting on the side. There's not many
Yeah.
powerlifters that do
Do
bodybuilding
bodybuilding.
on the side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
need a lot of weight, a lot of size, a lot of different kind of muscle routine,
Yeah.
core strength, in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you were around a lot of bodybuilders, so
Yeah.
hence you were kind of pivoting towards that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel obviously I was watching them day in and day out, and I was watching the shows and even watching the shows with seeing the girls up on stage, and I was like I want to be on stage eventually. I want to do that. It was just a matter of time. But when you are training exactly kind of not training like bodybuilders, but you've got that style of training, and it just got kind of regimented into everyday life. And yeah, you were almost just inspired by everyone around you, and it was almost just that productive environment. Obviously there's that saying, you are what you're surrounded by. And I feel we all just grew from that. And then that's kind of why it went in the direction that it did.
I think it was inevitable, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's go to what you wrote. You wrote up for me. And to talk about the beginning of the year and wanting to be better.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You want to be better,
Yeah.
a better person. I wanted direction, a goal, and a goal that made me a better person. That was the beginning of this year, 2024.
Yeah.
So then how did 2023 finish? Because you spoke about the accident, but why needing to be better? What was the finish of 2023 like? Because I kind of noticed a little bit of a disconnection with you online.
Yeah.
Even if I reached out to you, sometimes you didn't communicate back, even though, why? No. I mean, there's no reason you need to reply back to me. I'm not really part of that circle of yours.
Yeah,
but what
yeah.
I'm asking is, it did seem like something changed with you. There was less motivational videos. There was less this. There was less that. Mate, am I wrong in saying what I'm saying?
Wasn't that the time that I got into my relationship?
Oh, God's sake, yeah. That's when you got into it. In 2024, you got out of it. Got it. Right.
No,
Damn
no.
you relationships.
Damn
yes?
relationship. No. I don't. That was definitely not the cause of everything. But I feel I didn't know where I was almost where my head was at with everything. I lost the drive for training.
Well, you put on some kilos, you reckon?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, I kind of lost myself.
You went from 60 kilos, which was your average, to what did you get to?
So
Not that it matters about weight, but I'm just saying weight. I wasn't happy 20 kilos heavier than I was.
Yeah.
I was happy, but not I wasn't me.
Yeah.
To me, I needed to be me and happy.
Yeah.
So go on.
So I was end of 2022. So when I finished that powerlifting season, I was roughly about 65 kilos. And then through 2023, I was averaging just like between 65 and 67.5.
Yep.
I would just kind of sit at that weight. It was comfy for me. I was lifting heavy.
Yeah.
I was eating moderation, but
of course.
I could eat freely. Then end of 2023 was when it just started just going up, and obviously we were looking at going to compete, so we were like, okay, well, I will eventually compete. So we looked at doing just like pushing up and bulking. And
So you're putting on size?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So end of 2023, but then almost it was bulking, but then it was a bit of like lost myself as well, because I lost my direction with nutrition. I wasn't sticking with a meal plan.
Was it because you're in a relationship?
I feel like
I'm not blaming the person in the relationship.
Yeah.
I'm blaming you for, because sometimes when we fall in love, we surrender a lot over when you should bring everything with you.
Yeah.
Did you learn that kind of lesson?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I learned a lot from that relationship.
What did you
but
learn?
I definitely.
It's not about the person. I'm not saying the bad things. I'm trying to say is, what did you give? What do you think? What would you not? What's the non-negotiable now?
Oh, have to think about this one.
Because you have to give some.
Yeah.
To have some.
Of course. I don't know. Feel like it just needs to work. It's really cliche. But it does just need to work. If you're not aligned, then it's not going to work. If obviously
Do they need to be a bodybuilder?
So personally for me now, I found out my type is I want someone that, I don't necessarily want a bodybuilder, but I want someone who goes to the gym, who looks after themselves, who eats healthy, who understands all of that side, and who does understand bodybuilding. Because this is going to be the majority of my life. It's
so they don't really need to be a competitor.
No.
They just need to have values and think themselves, have a kind of a well-being nature about themselves.
Yeah. And I definitely figured that one out. Because
career-wise as well.
Yeah, exactly. A good career. I'm not fussy on you have to be doing this. You have to look this way. You have to.
They don't have to be 6'4" in finance.
No. I mean, anyone that's taller than me works, and that's not hard to beat. So,
and it's not easy. It's not hard to earn more than you either. You're trying to say at the moment, anyway.
Damn.
Sorry, Izzy.
Oh.
Easy to be taller, easy to be more financial.
Yeah, no.
Do you think they should be choosing you?
Damn, I'm really putting it out for myself there.
Yeah, you put it out there for them. God's sake, are we going to turn up?
No, I feel so that relationship helped me see that. But yeah, you learn little things like that. So what you really want. And that's why now there's no rush, and there's no rush of who is going to be. And these people who jump from relationship to relationship, or they'll constantly be looking for someone, or they'll be I really want this person, or I really want someone like this. It's just okay, cool, I've got what I'm looking for, but I'm not rushing anything. I'm just doing my own thing until anything like that comes and happens. But yeah, forcing it's never gonna work.
No. What about you, Chris? What are the characteristics you look? What was it? What's that singer again? Dua Lipa. As long as it's Dua Lipa, everything's right.
Fair enough.
Do you know she's Albanian?
I hate that.
Chris, let's not. What do you hate? She's Albanian.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you're Macedonian. Yeah. You guys hate everyone though.
we all hate each other.
Well, yeah, that's
Brilliant,
true.
yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't know. Yeah, she's quite cute, the Dua Lipa. I have to say, yeah. Look, relationships.
It's such a weird topic.
It is a weird topic. I
so
think
broad.
it is. Yeah. I mean, it has lowered the frequency right now. We're all kind of like walking through mud right now. It was quite exciting before, talking about hitting old ladies with cars and stuff like that, and car accidents.
Now we've gone into relationship issues. It's like,
At the gym and competing. Now we're talking about relationships. It's got like a nosedive. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about another accident. No. So, yep. Here we are. So now we are posting bodybuilding poses, routines,
yeah.
showing off your gymnastic skills, indicating fitness, but you're not necessarily telling anyone much.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're not really saying you're going to compete. Am I wrong in assuming that? Well, that's what I saw online. Is that true?
No, yeah, you're true. It's very true. I kept it, I wouldn't say low key. Everyone who needed to know, like, they knew.
Yeah, I think if you told someone verbally, but online you weren't telling anyone.
Yeah. I didn't want to put the pressure on myself.
Yeah,
I already had pressure from myself.
Yes, of course.
But I didn't want pressure from anyone else, and I didn't want to say, oh, I'm going to compete on this day, at this time, and people they're now watching. They're now going to see how you are, and what you're looking like. And yeah, so I feel like I told everyone close to me, and I was like, look, I've gone into prep. Like, it's a big decision. But we have no idea how it's going to go. We were set to do the Season B show in Sydney.
Oh, okay,
in
yes.
July. That was going to be the first one.
Yes.
So I remember speaking to Mark about it, and I was like, is it possible to do fitness at this show? Because obviously it's not really not advertised. It's not really advertised as a category.
Mark Gresh. Yep, you go.
Yeah. So it's not really advertised as a category to compete in fitness. But when I was speaking to him, it's just because it's so rare. And not many people will compete.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is probably rare. And how do you, maybe we need more than 3 people on stage.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe people like you, maybe you should look at something Mark said on the podcast about being always being a pro from the very beginning, even before you're a pro.
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk to Mark or even the IFBB or whoever you want. Maybe you should do an exhibition moment. Maybe you should ask at the shows, can you come out and do a routine?
Yeah.
Because why I'm saying that is good. If you did that,
so people
someone
can
could be in the crowd going, next year I want to do that. And instead of, like, they always have guests.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's usually
guest posers.
the guest poser or the opens women or the opens guy, and he comes out. Yeah. It's Aaron Pilates, and then it's, I forgot the other, Tracy, and all these people come out on the stage and they're giving. Maybe they should get you to do a routine.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, everyone watch it, just collapse it. No, obviously no medals, no judging.
Yeah.
But
pure off-season Izzy. 74
oh
kilos.
God, 74 kilos.
Flipping on stage.
We didn't. Yeah, that bikini looks like it's set for it opens. But
definitely wouldn't put that bikini on stage.
That's a little bit. That looks like a powerlifting leotard.
Definitely a good idea. It's actually something that I thought about before.
Yeah, but you should approach them because you'd prep for it.
Yeah.
And it could set you up for your next comp. So if you're going to compete overseas next year, let's say in May, I'm not going to ask you, but let's say it is that. Well, some of the Season A shows are in April, and you can be semi kind of, like, you're not getting judged. You're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I think if you wanted to grow it into Australia, maybe you're the key. Maybe even Laurie. Maybe you should talk to Laurie together.
Do like a duo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Something together. Like, you should reach out to her.
Yeah, I know American shows. A lot of shows in America, they actually bring on guest posers, guest athletes to do fitness routines, and they will be in their off season. And
I can't see why they wouldn't want that. And
Yeah.
it's all about entertainment with these.
yeah, it is an entertaining category. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, and it's so rare that people don't understand what it is. So it's like they'll see it and they'll be like, "Oh, this is different," and they'll be more engaged and they'll watch it and they'll be like, "Oh."
And did
if-
you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's one of the longest running competitions in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
So I heard, and I forgot who told me that.
Oh no, it's been around
It's been opens
before
and
figure.
fitness before figure, wellness, bikini.
Fitness
And
into figure,
opens
yeah.
were the two that were always around, even
Yeah.
in the 90s. So I'm
Yeah.
just letting you know, you only bring back the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that people are trying to bring more awareness to, because it is slowly dying out as a category.
Well, but everything has its highs and lows. Maybe it's time for you guys to
Bring it back.
bring it back. So then, obviously, in August, you were training at World Gym Parramatta, your newfound family. Well, let's not hit but Marsden Park, and we got a post from Marsden Park congratulating you, and you were there. So, how was so they were right into it. That's when we knew you were going somewhere, because again, you're still not giving away much.
Yeah.
It just sounded like you were a new gym member, and everyone's kind of like celebrating the new Izzy's at our gym, some kind of superstar. Everyone's there supporting you, and I'll do you proud, and you're still not announcing comps, nothing, and then you're at the airport the next day.
Yeah.
And you're at the airport and you're saying something like, what did you say? All the emotions and comforting words, and just 2 more weeks to compete, or the last couple of weeks of prep. And you're still kind of not giving it away. So I know it sounded like I was trying to read it here, but what I wrote is the next post, you're at the airport, all the emotions, confronting words, and just 2 words you said. These were the 2 words you said in that post: to compete, and the last couple of weeks of prep. That's all you said. You didn't say anything more. Did you know that? You didn't say very much more, even there at the airport. It just seemed like you were going back to England.
Yeah. Well, I went back to the UK last year as well. I knew I was going to go back to the UK this year, but the fact that it lined up with comps, it was just 10 times better. And it lined up with a couple of my friends' seasons as well. So we were all competing and in prep around the same time, and it almost just worked. Like, it worked so well that way. It was so good to watch their journey and have them watch mine, and definitely felt really good to have, like, obviously my closest people and the people that I grew up training with there to support me, and obviously my coach from the UK. Like, it was good to have her there at my comps, and I just don't think I could have done it in Australia. I could have easily done it in Australia, but it was just it was like a better environment to do it in. So going back to the UK to do that was,
I felt like just seeing you, I just think you I think you didn't know what to expect overseas.
Yeah.
But I think you wanted to not expect. I think you just didn't want any expectations.
Sounds about right.
You wanted no expectation from even, well, those back in England didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, there were some expectations. You wanted none of it.
Yeah.
So you were happy to, just go overseas and do it without
the pressure.
The pressure and the conversations and you didn't want any distraction. You didn't want anything. You just wanted to do it. You just wanted to go do it, and I'll come back and tell everyone what I did. Like, it was just basically you versus you.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like an escape, and in private. Like, it was just, you were still holding, because like I said, you were still not showing a lot until it was the August the 25th. You said 7 days out from your first show ever.
Yeah.
Also thriving in the chaos right now. There's glimpses of you, flexing, even your bikini in a box.
Yeah.
That's when we saw that you were like a little. She was doing. It was a very poor unveiling, Chris. By the way, Chris likes to do box. What
It was honestly awful.
Unboxing?
Yeah, Chris loves unboxing,
Yeah.
but your unboxing was probably one of the lowest unboxings I've seen. It was just literally opened and in black and white kind of color. There wasn't even a color there.
Well,
But-
no, I can't show the color until the day of the show.
Well, like you were really under the radar, constantly. Can I just ask, were you under the radar because two things? You could pull the chute if you wanted out, but also it was basically the best form of motivation. For me, it would be the best form of motivation. I can't do talking. I can't talk about it. If I talk about it, I'm gone. I'm deflated.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like
yeah.
it was a good moment for me to just put my head down and work. And it was a good bit of motivation for myself. But I knew it got to a point, like in prep, that there was a point, and I was at that like, okay, I can't pull out now. Like I've made it this far, I cannot pull out. No matter what was thrown at me, like I don't care. You could hit like rocks and whatever. Like I was not pulling out because I'm so stubborn on that. I was like, I've set myself that goal. I'm not coming out now.
Well, I don't want to. I'm not the type to assume, so I like to ask the question, but I assume that. But I know myself. I just can't. I seem like I can talk about things.
Yeah.
But I can talk about you.
Yeah.
You just don't know, and you can know a little bit about me, but you just don't know because I just can't do it without silence. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I want to share it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's the only thing I've got that makes me realise my silence is my key to success. If I'm going to succeed, I think words means very little to me.
Yeah.
I feel I've spoken about wanting to do things and not do it in the past.
Yeah.
And I said I'm over that.
Yeah.
It got me nowhere. And even telling people and not doing my best didn't get me anywhere. So I felt like, well, if I keep it silent, only I know if it's my best or not. So how about I just go? So was it like that? Just you knew it was you versus you?
Yeah.
You knew your best.
Though.
You like sharing, do you?
I'm a bit in between. I do feel like sometimes sharing some things of like the journey definitely helped me express my feelings a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
So if I was just, sometimes it is very overwhelming being in prep and dealing with those emotions by yourself. So sometimes sharing things did help get those emotions out. But then again, on the other side of that, sometimes just again doing the work and doing it by yourself and just making yourself proud, because it's no one else's journey, it's no one else's life, it's like it's yours at the end of the day. So you're doing it for you, and it's a you versus you problem.
So you enter the show.
Yeah.
Was it, please tell me, I've Rainstrick
Royal Racetrick. Yeah.
What was you stood in front of the Two Bros Pro Show sign?
Two Bros, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah,
is that
Two
the whole
Bros
thing?
Show.
The Rainstrick Royal Paradise Two Bros.
So it's the Royal Racetrick Two Bros Show. That was
Okay.
It was just a qualifier.
You don't want to say that 5 times quickly. You know what I mean? You'll sound like Bumstead. No, but Chris, I hope he comes on the show once. Who knows?
One day, maybe.
I think so. And you mentioned they gave you a cool number. How cool is fucking 83?
It wasn't a cool number.
I know.
It's
She
an
goes,
unlucky
I
number
know.
now. It was an unlucky number.
Oh, cut it out. Just because you came second. She goes, yeah, I know. She goes, Chris, she says, she holds up this number and she goes, and they gave me a cool number. And I went, it's 83. Like, what's cool about 83? And I want to know, what's cool about 83?
It wasn't. It was just cool. I think, do you know what it was that came from that post? It was the fact that it was my first show. So it was a little bit of like banter almost of like, oh, you get a number. Here's the number.
Is it like everybody says they got the cool number every time they're on going to show?
Yeah. Well, everyone does.
I got 33. It's a cool number. Got 22. It's a cool number. I got 15. That's a cool number.
Yeah.
Is it just say everyone's got to say they got a cool number?
Everyone will always say, then they'll put like an angel number next to it, and they'll be like, oh, this is my lucky number or something like that. But it is just, I think, almost like that pre-show ritual, if you want to say it like that.
Is it like a boxer going into the ring? He's going to win the fight, even that's all he knows. So you're going in with a lucky number.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. which didn't end up being lucky. But
Well, you came second. Come on. That was your first time.
yeah, no.
And you loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You looked amazing.
Yeah, it was.
God, you
it
look
was
so
really
grown up.
good. Yeah, it was weird to see it like that. It was so weird. After they did my makeup, I was like, I'm a different person. I was like, I've never seen myself like this.
What a back you had too. She was doing some back poses. And how does everyone do that angle? I've tried a million times in my bathroom. I look like a fat bastard every angle I do. Like I sit there and go like that. I go, oh, delete that. Delete. I spend probably 3 hours in there. I go, how the fuck did they do it? Can't be my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Jesus Christ, everybody does. You ever notice all their bathroom shots? Like, their bathroom shots, everybody's like... And they're also happy to be in their underwear. I mean, how did you do the topless one?
Oh, yeah, I had no idea. Well, it was the tanning that was an experience.
Not that she was
and a
showing her
half.
front off, don't get me wrong. I
But
just
yeah,
knew you were showing your back because you weren't wearing a top or a bra, but it was a shot.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting is, I can only imagine all the photos before that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, yeah, am I too really? Oh my God, that's disgusting. Oh my God. Should I? No.
Nah.
I don't know how they do it. I can't find one. I've tried. I keep trying. Yes, all right, you came second. Were you happy at the time with second, or were you going for number one?
No, I wasn't. So it's never about.
So competitive.
It was never. Yeah, no. It was never about the
number
winning.
one.
No.
Right, it's never about winning. All right.
Yeah, it was never about winning.
Were you nervous?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
It was my first show.
Yeah, of course.
I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea how everything was going to be. But we had I'd say a lot of issues with that show because when we got there, the stage was absolutely tiny. So we were basically forced to compete on this stage that was not set out for fitness at all. So we were checking it out and I was like, oh my gosh, my routine's not going to fit this. Okay, how do we adjust the routine?
Okay, yes.
So I spent even that
So where there
night
was
and
4
I was
steps, needed to
like-
be 3 steps. So where there was this, there was that, correct?
Almost. I had to change like tumble passes to like make sure my one of my tumble passes went backwards. I had to change that to go diagonal so it would fit in. So and then I missed out a couple skills. So it was just when I was on stage and I was performing that routine, even from the get-go, from my first skill I did was 2 back handsprings, back tuck. My foot skimmed the TVs at the back. So there was all just TVs from obviously just the promotion. And my foot skimmed it and I heard people backstage because obviously they saw it. And all I heard was, and that made me just like undershoot myself. So I ended up basically then putting my hands down and just basically stumbling that skill. And from the get-go, I was like, just sighed. And I was like, this is going to be, it's not going to be
Sounds
fun.
like the perfect first show.
Exactly. So, and then I missed...
You wouldn't want that to happen in
No.
the second show.
No. So I missed another skill. And one of those skills was a high kick because I had to change a couple of things in the routine to make it fit. One of those was a high kick, and a high kick is a mandatory fitness skill that the judges are looking for. And from then, when I missed it, I was like, oh no. I walked off stage and I was like, the high kick. So I definitely think that had an impact on my score. And prior to obviously competing on stage, in fitness, you obviously, if those of you like who don't know, you do your physique round in the bikini. So you'll go on, you'll present your physique, you'll do your mandatory poses, which are basically the figure mandatory poses. You'll get compared with the athletes that you're against, and then you'll come off. Usually, you get a good amount of time to warm up, hydrate, eat if you need to, fuel basically your body because you're then about to just flip on stage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still wondering how you guys do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How you go from high heels to barefoot.
Yeah, crazy. So you
And
basically
trying
just
to
need
rip up, lean up, and then
do that.
hold your body weight.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. I think I said that same thing to all the girls.
Yeah. Well, it's very
They do
dangerous.
fitness.
It's very dangerous.
It's a fine line you've got to play with.
Yeah. So you have to take everything into consideration, but you're meant to get a good amount of time to warm up and do all these things and get changed. And some people can will change their hairstyle and everything, but usually depends on the show. We got, I think it's 20-30 minutes, which was not enough time. I remember going into, I just got changed, I had just eaten a little bit, had some Lucozade, and I went to go stretch. Hadn't stretched, but I went to go stretch, and they were already calling us on. And I was like, oh my fuck. Because I hadn't warmed up my skills. I was not ready. I was not stretched out. I was basically just asking for injuries at that point on stage. So yeah, I was just disappointed with kind of how I felt in that competition. But it was never about the placing. I just knew I could do better. And that's why when we came to the pro show, I went away that evening after coming second.
Yeah, I want to know between that show and the NPC show, what did you have to do and change?
So I went home that evening from the show, and I was like, nah, you know what? I've got more to prove to myself. And if I'm going into this pro qualifier, I want to put my best out there. Again, it wasn't about winning. It was about doing my best. And so I went away. I choreographed a whole new routine.
I know, you choreographed 2 days prior.
Yeah. Yeah, no, two,
You
yeah,
did a
it
whole
took
new
2
routine
days.
2 days prior.
Yeah, so...
It was 2 days, wasn't it?
No, it took 2 days.
Oh, it took 2 days to put this routine together.
So
Correct, yes.
But it was 12 days in between the shows.
Okay,
So
you could
it
practice.
was still, but usually people will choreograph a routine and they'll spend, 20 weeks in prep?
Yeah.
So they'll be prepping for 20 weeks. They'll be doing that routine for 20 weeks. For me, that routine was done in 12 days. So yeah, came away, choreographed, I found music, I cut my own music, and I basically signed myself up for the pro qualifier, put my registration in. And
So you weren't really doing that show? You were doing
no,
one...
I was always going to do
you always
that show.
going to do it?
Yeah. But you have to do the qualifier first before you register. So I just did that show and then registered after. As soon as I registered, I put in my music and I was like, well, that's it. I cannot go back now. I already knew the song I wanted to do. It was just this fierce song. It's called God Killer. And it's basically from an anime movie. I can't remember which one, but it was basically, I was listening to it in one of my training soundtracks, and it was just loads of movie soundtracks, and this one came up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is powerful. So I edited that, and I spent all night and all day the next day just coming up with a new routine, basically new skills, and just I was like, no, this needs to be more myself. I need to put everything into this, and I want to finish that routine on stage knowing that was the best I could have done. So that was the aim for that.
Do you think that's why the first show allowed that? Do you think if you won the first show,
I wouldn't have had that?
do you think you would have just gone with everything that was the same and you wouldn't have the burning desire and also to be better? Because I think you already thought, well, if you'd won that show, you think, well, this is good enough.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about coming second. It just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And you were tested and it just, you could have, and we don't want to, but you could have pointed the finger at the show where you came second, but what you said was, well, that environment made you question a few things, especially the sigh in the background and not forgetting a lift and everything. So you had to kind of make sure you had to make sure that everything around you was not going to play havoc this time.
Yeah.
Even hearing someone sigh in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nearly hitting the television screen. You just had to go and finish your routine. So I guess all the disciplines need to be in place because that's up to you.
Yeah, 100%. And it was in that moment then, it was okay, there are things I can control now. So I know how, worst case scenario, how quick they're going to give us to warm up. So the aim was to get off stage at the pro qualifier, get changed straight away and just stretch. Don't worry about dilly-dallying, anything like that. Just get on with it. So I feel like it just like taught me a little bit more, and obviously gave me a direction on how to approach the next competition better. And obviously just stay calmer. And if things don't go to plan, then how do you work around that and things like that. So yeah, I do think that competition and coming second was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
I think so. And getting 83.
Yeah, that number.
No.
But I do think if it didn't happen, I probably would have stuck with the same routine, and it wouldn't have been it would have been a better performance, because obviously I wouldn't have let myself like do worse. But there was more. There was better to come, and I needed to prove that. And
It showed
yeah.
it. Yeah, no. It says it all. It says it all.
Yeah.
It says it all. All right, so then you win.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What were the vibes when you won?
I was just proud. Like,
Proud?
I was just grateful. I was like, everything that led to that moment. Like,
Did you feel like you won it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you knew.
It
Okay.
it felt like a win. And I think that's all the shit that went through during the year. Like during the start of the year and then during prep.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I did cry.
I want to cry.
Because
Can't find it.
it was just emotional, because it was like everything that led up to that win, it was just worth it at that point. And then hearing your name and hearing the first, and was like, okay, like that I've done this, like I've set out what I wanted to achieve. And no, it was never about winning as such, but I know I've made myself proud now. And
nice.
obviously the first place led into the pro card.
But you won the overall.
Yeah.
So there's
there's
winning
one-
first place, then there's overall. Is that correct?
So
There's
not
two?
in fitness, not in fitness.
No fitness.
No.
So it's just win your overall,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
But
You're just the overall
I
winner.
want to, because you text this to me, you said you won first and
Yeah.
overall in fitness category.
Yeah.
And then something about the judge is telling you to appeal for the pro card.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand that. So how does that work? Because the judges are telling you, but aren't the judges that do the pro? Like, I'm confused.
So
who gives the pro? So you get the winning, you get the overall.
Yeah.
Is who gives the pro card out?
So yeah, in the IFBB, when there's not enough competitors on stage, they can't award you the pro card.
Okay.
So I think it's minimum.
It wasn't that someone else got it.
Yeah. No, so
I'm just trying to work out. It wasn't that you ripped it off somebody and you said, I want this pro card, and then there was a wrestle going on.
no.
Right.
There has to be a minimum of 5 competitors on stage
Okay.
for them to give you the pro card.
Okay.
If there's not, you appeal it. So you
Okay.
write an email, and you basically send in your photos, your videos, everything that you can.
Okay.
And obviously your like number and placings. And they will make a decision. So the IFBB Pro League will make a decision. If they don't think that you're pro worthy, they'll basically deny that.
Okay.
And they'll basically say, no, try again next year, maybe go to a bigger show, whatever. But if they
It was
do
great
think
that the
you
judges
are,
advised that, isn't it?
yeah, so we actually went to, me and my coach, we went to speak to some of the judges at the end. And they came up to us and they were like, look, I think she should appeal for the pro card. It's obviously just unfortunate that there wasn't enough competitors on the day, but it's definitely worth doing. And then head judge Tyler, he basically advised it as well. And when it came from himself, we were like,
Tyler
Mannion.
I was going to
Yeah,
say Tyler
so-
Mannion. When it comes from him,
When it comes
doesn't
from
he own
him,
it?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a
Basically
guarantee?
the president of IFBB.
Yeah, I was
but-
going to say he told you to do it.
Yeah, so we were
Jesus
like,
Christ.
okay, well, if
cool.
he's saying it, then there's a chance. So yeah,
Wow.
I got right in that letter that evening and sent
Did
it
you put
off.
down the bottom Tyler Mannion told me to do it?
Yeah, I did actually put that in there.
And he's ready himself.
He's like,
hey, I'm the one that said that.
that.
Yeah, I'll give it the pro card. All right.
Yeah,
so
so-
that's how the process worked.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
So it's not
ripped it off
as-
somebody off stage.
No, it's not as rewarding as like obviously getting it on stage and having that moment, but knowing that was the kind of goal and we achieved that. Anything in relation, it just, yeah.
Well, in sport, they always go back to the video referee, don't they?
Yeah.
And the video referee will say to try, no try,
Yeah.
allowed, disallowed,
Yeah.
right?
So
And if the judges and what's his first name again?
who?
Mannion? Tyler
Tyler
Mannion.
Mannion,
So
yeah.
I knew, sorry, I apologise. I was going to say Trevor, but Tyler Mannion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a pro card's a pro. I mean,
Well, yeah,
wow.
pro status.
Pro status.
So.
All right, and then you wrote, people who want to see you win, help you win.
Yep.
Yeah, you had those people?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Can I have them too?
Yeah.
Can we get their
Yeah, you
number?
can if you want.
We want their number. So that's the thing, people who want to see you win, help you win, yeah?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like the front of my phone, actually.
Is it? Where'd you get that from? ChatGPT?
No, it's a quote, and it says, "Remember who supported your dreams like they were already your reality."
It's on who wrote that?
That was just a quote on Instagram. That was one of the.
Oh, you
quotes.
found it?
Yeah, and it's just been my lock screen with a photo of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 20 years old, first ever bodybuilding season. You know, no, this is you wrote this. I thought I wrote this. You wrote this. So 20 years old, first ever bodybuilding season. I call that a statement.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd add to it. Incredibly grateful, because you wrote this, all this, I'd add to it because they might think you've got too much attitude now. I call that a statement. Incredibly grateful, your words, for this huge opportunity. Words cannot describe how I feel right now. How do you feel?
Yeah. Oh, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think I was overwhelmed for like weeks. I'm
Weeks?
still overwhelmed.
Are you still overwhelmed?
Yeah, it still doesn't feel real. I think I remember coming back. I went to training on Thursday when I got back from the UK.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Mark, and Mark was like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, "It still doesn't feel real." It's been like 3.5 weeks, and it still doesn't feel like it's set. So yeah, there's just so many emotions. Obviously, gratitude and just like being proud. Obviously, almost just.
Do you get served quicker at McDonald's now, and what are the perks of being a pro?
I don't go to McDonald's.
No? Oh, you don't even go to McDonald's.
As a pro.
What about grilled burgers? Do they give you the burgers quicker now?
No.
No? I thought pro cards got something more special. I don't know.
No.
All right, so speaking about Mark, 5 days ago, a huge welcome back and massive congratulations go to the loyal member from World Gym Marsden Park. You are a huge inspiration to all members and colleagues within the World Gym family here at Marsden Park and Parramatta. We cannot wait to ride the wave with you during your competitive career as an IFBB pro. You're standing there with Mark Resch.
Yeah.
Is that a good moment?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I love Mark.
You love Mark?
Yeah, Mark's been from.
He's
like,
amazing, isn't he? Really,
yeah.
he's perfect. He's. I don't know if you watched the podcast I had with him.
Yeah.
But he's perfect to be leading this sport, isn't he?
Yeah.
IFBB here in Australia.
Very, very nice guy. Very genuine. Very just like upfront as well. And just someone that you can easily look up to as well.
Yeah. He speaks well.
Yeah.
He does the sport
A
well.
lot
He's
of
competed in the knowledge.
Yeah.
Businessman.
Yeah.
Trainer.
Yeah.
He knows. He doesn't suffer fools.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He lets people. He knows how much stretch to give and pull backs.
Yeah.
He's very good at what he does, isn't he? He's very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a great personality, great character. Perfect for the sport.
Hi, Yvonne here. I'm thrilled to be working with Steve from Muscle Talks. Please go to rockcreek.com.au and join in on the collaboration with Steve and use your Muscle Talks 10 discount code to buy any products that you'd like.
Are you ready to go over the body now one more time?
Yeah.
We're going to go over the body. Remember the last time we went over the body and you pick body part and we talk about it? You remember? That's now we're doing a training routine.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
It's just sets and reps. All right. And you can say you don't train them and we don't train them.
Then these might change from the last.
I know, that's right. That's right. Plus we're going to talk about the collab that wasn't done that we want now. I mean, Chris doesn't want to hear the words that I mention about people that make me promises and don't deliver them, but we will be keeping the promise now that we've taped it. All right, traps. Do we try traps?
No.
No. Okay, delts, side delts.
Lat raises.
Sets, reps?
Ooh. So usually I do 2 exercises of lat raises in my push days. So one will be at the start of the session, and it'll always be warm up set, like top set, back off set, and then it depends if I'm feeling for an extra one, then an extra set on top of that. So usually like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Sets and reps in that?
So yeah, 3 or 4 sets, sorry. Reps are anywhere between 10 to 15.
Okay.
Like nothing below 10 for lat raises, nothing above 15 because it's just, you're not clearly not going heavy enough.
That's true. Front delts?
I do like front raises.
Front raises? Sets, reps?
Are good. About the same. So 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15
Okay.
reps.
Back? Rear delts?
Rear delt flies.
Yep.
Just classic rear delt.
Same?
Just machine rear delt flies. Yeah, top set, back off set. Go heavy, but don't go under 10 reps.
Okay.
For those kind of accessory movements.
Laterals? Back? A back exercise?
I absolutely love rows.
Rows?
Like any heavy rows. So whether it's a T-bar or a chest supported T-bar, I'd probably say my favorite. Or even dumbbell rows. Just heavy, like a heavy compound for back. Always, yeah.
Sets, reps?
Oh, so again, top set, back off set. It's just how I work. I'd say with my top set between 8 to 10, and then my back off set would be like 12 or so. But again, it's all till failure. Like I'd say I'd give these numbers as like a rough number, but all till failure.
We're happy for rough numbers.
Yeah.
Chest?
I've been loving dumbbell incline press at the moment. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movements. Either that or a Smith incline. But any kind of incline press. But just get strong at that. Sets, reps, top set, back off set, till failure. Top set looking like 8 to 12, and then back off 12-ish.
Okay.
Again.
Abs?
I like hanging leg raises, straight legs. It's just, I don't know. I just do those till failure. I usually do 3 sets till failure.
3 sets till failure.
Yeah, whether it's usually like 20 or so, roughly.
Bicep?
Just straight bar, bicep curls or dumbbell hammer curls. Again, with these kind of exercises, I like probably about 3 sets, just a good amount of reps in there, like 12 to 15, or just a nice amount of like hypertrophy in there.
Tricep?
Just cable tricep push downs, I think. Rope extension, same thing as biceps, probably about 3 to 4 sets, 12 plus, definitely.
And not because I want to distinguish between genders who does the forearms. Do we train forearms?
No.
But I thought that'd be fair. Women's rights. Quads?
Varies. I'm going to say my 2 favorite compounds for quads would be hack squat or pendulum.
Oh, yeah.
Pendulum obviously more quad biased. Hack here I've got a bit more like is general leg bias, but pendulum's more quad biased. But one of those 2, as long as it's a heavy compound and you're lifting heavy, then
How many reps is heavy?
well, it's not how many reps, it's how much weight. It's how much weight.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is 6 reps heavyweight? Is 8 reps heavyweight? Is 4 reps heavyweight? I mean, what are you punching
I don't think
out?
you should be doing 4 reps on a like pendulum or hack.
What, 6 to 8?
I'd say 6 plus.
6
has
plus
to be 6
8.
plus.
Right. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing you. Back in the days, we spotted on the second rep. That's how much we used to load up. We'd say to each other, "How many do you want out?" I go, "I'm going for 10."
You get
And
one
you go,
in.
"But come in at 8." And you go, 1, 2. "Oh, need your help now." And we still do it. And then we go back and they go, "Should we take the weight off?" "What are you talking about? I just did 10. We're doing it again, even though we spotted at 2.
Yeah,
Hammies?
Either a stiff leg deadlift as like a main compound. Again, similar to like your quad compounds where you want to be aiming as a bodybuilder, you want to be aiming for 6+ reps. Nothing should be going below that.
Yep.
So, and then sets wise, your top set, your back off set. With obviously however much warm up you need, especially deadlifts. You don't want to just rush into it. For an accessory, I do love lion hamstring curl.
Yeah, I like him. I like the standing hamstring curls.
Yeah, no, I get along best with the lion.
Lion one, yeah. Glutes.
Glute drive machine. Just simple really, but like effective.
What's a glute drive machine?
It's basically just like a hip thrust. It's like a hip thrust machine.
It's hip thrust.
But obviously you don't have to load up a barbell and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's already set up. It's set up.
And,
Yeah. You don't have to. God, I mean, we won't go into glute hip thrust. Not because I wanted to. We've already had enough bad. Like I've already stirred up enough trouble. And hip thrust works, guys. It works, and guys should be doing it. But I think the setup machines seem to be a lot easier than trying to put a barbell over the top of you. I just see you girls doing hip thrusts with the barbell and the weights you put on, and I'm a quarter of that.
At that point, and then it's just like, but it's just that setup is and putting it all away is so much more fatiguing than
that's what I mean. It's a lot of it's a lot of work to it. Yeah,
and it takes out the whole like session basically.
That could be why I found it so controversial in some way, because a lot of work towards it and balancing acts and putting it down. Like it all looks good to watch, but it's not as glamorous. But when I've seen what you said, that machine, and it does so work. Easier. Yeah, so much easier even to get in and get out. I mean, you want that in relation to certain exercises. Yeah, exactly. Calves.
Standing calf rows. Yeah, any day. Yeah.
Sets,
probably
reps.
About three sets. All till failure. Something like 12, 15. But yeah, just stack it heavy again. And go to failure.
Tibialis.
Oh.
It doesn't matter if you don't train it. I just want to sound.
I don't train it.
That's okay.
I was going to say.
It sounds very important. Like when I say it.
Yeah, I was like.
Sounds like I'm right into it. Well, let's promote you. Where can they find you? Even though you've changed the name now, it's all changed.
I was too quick to change the name as well.
Everyone
I was so quick. Someone was like, I basically posted when I got the news. I posted, announcement like, here you go. I've just turned pro. And like already my username was changed.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel like people were like, did you already have this in your notes? And I was like, funny thing is I actually already wrote what my username was going to be in my notes before I got my pro cards.
All right.
It was almost like a weird manifestation thing, but I was like, I saw it as a vision, and I was like, no, I kind of like, I knew this was going to happen. So it was, I changed it. Anyway, Izzy Fagan _IFBB Pro.
There you go. Yeah. Chris used to say to me, because I used to always try to get people that are pros on it, and Chris said, someone can write cleaner, pro. Window washer, pro. You're just going to bring them in because we just got pro there. Pro. So anyone that's got a pro, I was getting them in. Okay, so what was it again?
It's a handful. Izzy Fagan _IFBB Pro. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to do the sequel with you. Izzy 2.
Number 2.
I really appreciate you coming in.
Watch the Rocky
we'll see what Chris puts together. Anyway, it was great having you on.
Thank you.